Welcome back, everybody, to The Real Frame of Mind. If you ask me, movie reviews. Today we're reviewing 101 Dalmatians in honor of Disney's newest release, A Wrinkle in Time. So, A Wrinkle in Time, obviously live action. 101 Dalmatians is not live action, but I figured I just scored 101 Dalmatians on Blu-ray for like $10 off of eBay, which was pretty sweet. Not to mention, I put it up. Actually, my wife picked it out, but we put it up in the pool for our Oscars picks, and lo and behold, I won again this year, so I got the whole pot. Got 101 Dalmatians, tossed this baby in the other night, and boy, was I transported back. 101 Dalmatians is about a male dog, Pongo, and his pet, Roger, and they're living the boring bachelor life, and Pongo takes it upon himself to find a mate for his pet, and he ends up running into Purdy or Perdita. I always just knew her as Purdy, but and obviously then Anita, Purdy's pet, falls in love with Roger. Pongo falls in love with Purdy, and the rest is history. 101 Dalmatians came out in 1961, and a couple of the great animators, Frank Thomas and Ollie Johnston, were working on this film, and along with one of the directors being Wolfgang Reitherman, who also did Jungle Book and some other movies. So right away, you have the star power behind the scenes to get this working, but also the fact that 101 Dalmatians takes you outside of the United States yet again into London and really puts you in the thick of things. They go all out with accents. They go all out with, landmarks and such, cities, towns, stuff like that. And that's what you got to love. I mean, I can appreciate that more now as an adult, whereas as a young child, I just thought it was cool to see dogs talk, right? This film, and you go back, like I said, with the animators, and this film doesn't miss a beat. Now, there are times where we have really focused hard on the animation in this movie, and it is so astounding that people actually do this stuff by hand. And it's so awesome to see that in the times where, the dog's hind legs are back here and still moving, it looks so realistic. And they did so much research going into this just to see how dogs move, how they bark. There's so many different types of dogs, and I think that's so awesome, and that's so like Disney to go and do their research with many things like that. The next thing is obviously the characters in this movie are awesome. Now, Pongo and Purdy are obviously great, but you even have some of the dogs, the young puppies, one of their 15 puppies, a couple of their 15 puppies that you remember right off the bat. You got that little guy with the patch, named Patch, the one with the little black eye. Everybody remembers him. They actually made spin-off movies for him. And then you have Rolly, the little fat one that's always hungry, and then you have the one that's always on the TV and always watching, which is Lucky. And then you even can remember some of the names like Pepper and I think that's the only other one I can remember. But still, it's really cool to be able to remember those names and those types of animals, those types of characters in this movie that I think is maybe just over an hour. It doesn't seem any longer than an hour and 20. And it's just an unbelievable adventure. But the adventure doesn't take off unless it has a catalyst or that foil that you need. And one of the most legendary Disney villains in Cruella de Vil. And she is scary, man. Like, she smokes and these green smoke comes out. She's got black and white hair. She wants to kill the dogs. She's got a menacing car, and she looks super scary. But the great thing that Disney does in this movie is that they actually pair her up with a little bit more of levity in Horace and Jasper. And they are going to be your bad guys that show you a little bit more of the lighter side. Like, their interactions with the nanny are great, and they're absolutely hilarious throughout the entire movie, which really helps sort of, I guess, bring down the scariness of a villain like Cruella. And I think that when you go back and watch this movie, what I really paid attention to was the dialogue. And this script is actually very tight. It's a really well done script. I mean, they have their moments of sort of exposition barf, but I think you need that because they cut through the film so fast that you need updates every now and then because the dogs will be gone for so long or they jump ahead in time quite a bit. So it's great to see that a movie that is still so entertaining and can touch on can bring kids and keep their attention, but also can keep adult attention. That's always such a great thing with these movies, that Disney and Pixar and, Illumination and Sony Animated, all these different companies, DreamWorks, put out there is that they can sort of balance the two. And this script does a really good job at doing that. The story is just flat out adventure. Even if you're not a dog lover, which I love dogs, I don't have any. I have 3 cats, but even still, I love the character of Tibbs, the cat that helps all the puppies escape. But there's so many different layers to these characters. There's they each have great attributes. Purdy is very loving mother. Pongo is brave when he needs to be, but so is Purdy, and they sort of just connect together so well. The different characters that they run into, the Collie, the Labrador, the Great Dane sidekick. Tell me, Donnie, tell me. And then the Twilight Bark, all of that stuff is so memorable. The movie is so quotable, and I absolutely love it. If you get a chance, go back and watch 101 Dalmatians, because if you ask me, this movie is, to me, a 3.5 out of 4 stars. Like I said, there are some moments where they barf out some exposition. There are a few things that go wrong. I guess it more or less it's things kind of reappear and disappear, but that's animation. You know what I mean? So I give it a 3.5 out of 4 stars. Tell me what you think about 101 Dalmatians. Let me know if you're excited to see A Wrinkle in Time. Check out my Wrinkle in Time review. It's either going to come up before or after this. Either way, they're going to be out at the same time. Glad to have If You Ask Me back. Let us know any movies that you want us to see and review for you. Thank you guys so much, and peace.